Yo, what is up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to More to the Game Sports Show. I am your host, Brandon Moore. Again, thank y'all for tuning in so much, man. Really appreciate the love, the support, the views, all that stuff. Hey, please make sure you check out the link tree down there. Hit me up on anything. Subscribe to Gym at 10 Sports. And listen, follow the show. Pass it. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what I'm trying to do. Just trying to bring exposure to the Midwest, especially Louisville, Kentucky, sports, everything. So, listen, thank you all so much for following and supporting. Hey, let's jump right into the show because I got a lot to talk about. As you can see, the backdrop was changed. Actually, the episodes before was not a backdrop. That was actually in my kitchen. But since then, we have since moved. So, hey, listen, let's do a little poll. So tell me what kind of backdrop should I do or whatever for the background of the show. Let me know. Let me know. And then hey, the winner, the winner, what I'll do is I will get that exact backdrop or try to, depending on what it is. Depending on what it is, have you as a guest on my show. Hey, listen, so big deal. State of Kentucky, one of the few states. Okay, let me make this very clear. One of the few states in the country that has one champion. Has one. That's why they call it Sweet 16. 16 teams make it, 16 regions. I'm gonna tell you, one champion. One. And I'm just elated to tell you all from the beginning. I said out of Region 7, it was gonna be St. X Tigers. St. X, they beat Trinity. They beat Trinity region championship and won that. Now, out of Region 6, I gotta admit, I did not show. It's not that I didn't show a lot of love, but I did not see this team play a lot. Did not see this team play a lot. But J Town, Jeffersontown High School, whoo man, I mean, what can I say? They went through the gauntlet. I mean, they went through the gauntlet. The sixth region, like I said before, previous shows, it was loaded. Six regions was loaded, and I mean, you had J Town Butler, PRP Moore. I mean, you had quality teams out of that region, and J Town survived. I mean, J Town really survived. Yes, if I had to have a bracket, I believe I had Butler coming out of sixth region. But I'm gonna tell you, J Town. But check this out though. It's funny how certain schools get the notoriety and people talk about them and they rave about them and all that type of stuff. And then it's funny how you see how successful other schools or other programs are, and you're like, man, how come ain't nobody talking about them? Like maybe they ain't have anybody big and famous come to the school, all that type of stuff. But takes out their coach Richard Junkin. I know of him, great coach. I mean, he is doing remarkable things at where he has been at J Town, and he is a four. I got this right, 4-time district champion, 3-time regional champion. He the kids go on to the next level and play, right? And with what he is doing right now is literally historic. Literally historic. I mean, he is literally winning at a pace that uh, some schools don't get opportunity to win at. And I mean, what him and his staff and what they're doing over there at J Town is phenomenal. I've had a couple cousins come through there, and they all went to the next level and played. So I'm telling you, they are doing some great things. And I mean, we literally that matchup, Region 6 and Region 7, they played. And first round of the Sweet 16. And I'm gonna tell you that it's crazy. We get to see two kids out of the city of Louisville, Division 1 prospects, go against each other. St. X has Jeremiah Jackson. J Town has Kim McDaniels. And I'm gonna tell you, both kids flat out are Division 1 talent, hands down. From the size, the IQ, the aggressiveness, defense, the playmaking ability, the leadership that they have, they are both. I will tell you this: they are both Division 1 prospects, and to be able to get that type of matchup early in the tournament is huge. It is absolutely huge. Now, there are other schools that are literally very good that are going to be playing, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. But yeah, the Sweet 16, man, it's going to be a doozy because I tell you, we have teams out everywhere in Central Kentucky. I mean, you got some teams that are in these podunk rural counties, these rural regions that teams out of Louisville, that Region 7, Region 6 would never play, um, just because of the distance, just because of the location. I mean, just would not play flat out. And now you get to see these type teams. You get to see these type teams, these players, as coaches in the Sweet 16. I think every state should have one. As is my opinion, I think every state should have one championship. I think for one, it adds to the passion of it. It's literally win or go home. It's literally win or go home. So yeah, that's starting up, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. Man, I said Sweet 16. Man, March Madness. Whew, game. Now look, I'm a Louisville fan. I'm gonna tell you that now. Y'all already know that. Diehard Louisville fan. The A seed. Hmm. I was a little shocked. I was a little shocked by that. I was a little shocked by that. A little shocked by that. But I will I will say it could actually work in our benefit though. Work in our benefit. Creighton is a tough team, man. I actually watched them when they were playing UConn. Creighton is a good team. They are tough. I think that the location that Louisville has, we're playing in Lexington, which is literally an hour from Louisville. So it's going to be red, red, red in that place. And I think with how we're playing and the bitter taste that Duke left us, I think we're going to make the adjustment necessary. I got us pulling out that first round, even that second round. And a long shot, Louisville can squeak into the Elite Eight. They can squeak into the Elite Eight. But again, don't know. I will say kudos to Rick Pitino and St. John's got the 2 seed. I actually have them making it to the Final Four. It's going to be real interesting to see upsets. I got Purdue getting upset. Um, who else? I got a couple more upsets, but man, the field is set. It is awesome. I'm gonna fill out a bracket. I'm gonna fill out a bracket. We'll do the show next week. We'll compare brackets. I'm actually gonna put a couple brackets on my Twitter page so you guys can be able to see that. Compare your bracket with mine. Compare your bracket with mine, and we'll knock that out and have some fun with that. And I mean, I saw some great basketball over the past couple of weeks, man. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, like unbelievable, unbelievable. From Fisher's High School up in Indianapolis, just dominating. I watched the homeschool Wildcats of India. They actually won the Division II championship in Missouri. So kudos to them. Congratulations to that team. My son Jaden Young plays on that team. Aaron Gorley, hard nosed player. He came back from injury, had a pretty good showing there. So very very proud of them as well. Ethan Roseman out of St. Joseph's up in South Bend, man, they won their region, so they're on the way. Christmas Addicts. I mean, just so many good teams that are out there right now between Indiana and yes, Kentucky. So it should be a great finish. Should be an awesome finish for high school, and then also college. And then I'm gonna tell you next up is AAU. It is AAU, which draws me to this. So the funny thing is now, you know, I was talking to one of my former players, is a GA at a Division I school. And it's funny now. I think I'm like, man, I got a little pipeline of coaches, right? So here I am. Don't nobody know who I am for real, right? But I got a pipeline of coaches, players that went through our program and are now coaching and playing and such. But me and him were having a conversation. We're talking about, so what do you now tell recruits, right? What are you telling recruits? Like, what are y'all's goals as a team, as a school? Are they recruiting high school players? You going right to the portal? Like NIL's affecting it? What is it? And he straight up looked at me and told me, he said, "Well, let me be honest. we're not recruiting out of high school. We're not recruiting at that level unless that player is a top. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. Top 100, top 150 player. We are not recruiting first out of high school. So it is going to be a reality check to some players, especially on the AAU circuit. It's going to be a reality check to some players. Yes, they'll come out, they'll watch you because they want to see where you are now compared to where you may be a year from now, 2 years from now. But they also want a chance to look at you and compare you to other people. And it is. I'm gonna tell you, it is something that is gonna be pretty interesting to look at, to think about. Pretty interesting because you know in high school you there was no problem. you know College coaches would come to your high school, they'll see you play. If you were AAU, they see you play there. Now with the NIL, transfer portal, every year everybody's roster is changing. I mean, Coach Hurley for UConn said in an interview that literally he has he already knows part of his team is gone for NIL. St. John's, Rick Pitino knows some of his guys are already gone due to NIL. They can make more money somewhere else. So it's almost like, but then the transfer portal, now I just found this out now. Kids can get kids can get estimates on, I guess is what you call them, estimates on how much a school would pay for them to come and play for them. They get estimates. So they get to figure out like, yeah, you're worth 500,000, a million, $2 million, whatever the case may be, whatever the number is, compared to 100, 200, and $300,000. I mean, that's crazy. So these kids literally throw out a number, a school bites, a school that may have been recruiting them, may have won them, can jump on them and literally say, nah, I'm gonna pass on you. I'm gonna go over here because I get paid $50,000 to $100,000 more. I mean, it's crazy, right? So I was asking him the difficulties, like, as a coach, how hard is it? It's extremely hard because you get these kids in here and you're working them. You get to know them. You get to know their families. You're working them. You're hey, we got the this is our idea of how we're going to use you, and it may work. It may work, but then you turn around and then you're like, well, hold up, this kid is leaving. This kid has already told me that he's leaving after a while. So after the season, so then you're like, well, what do I do? And then it's like, who else do you come in? And essentially, some of these coaches have to deal with getting 4, 5, 6 new players from the portal. That's not including whoever they've already been recruiting, right? So he was just letting me know. He said, we'd we'd rather deal with that because that's adult problems, and not just adult problems, but and we have people on staff that deal with that versus dealing with a 17, 18-year-old kid who's not strong enough, who has a lot to get better at and work on, who's probably still has some of that immaturity versus getting somebody that literally is 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, and who is going to come in, no games, no emotional problems. They're going to come in ready to work from day one, and you don't have to coach and babysit a lot of that. They come right in, and it's who they are, and they go about their business. So that's something to also consider too, right? So it's like, as me as coach, I've coached every level, except for college, and we constantly, we're telling players, you never know who's watching, which is true. But also, it's like, you have to be the type of player to where a coach will look and be like, how come we're not recruiting that kid? Just like you got to be the type of player that when you're playing, you got to be the type of player where a coach looks and says, man, listen, I can't have him on the bench. He has to be out there playing. So are you willing to do so? Now the conversation swings towards a player. Are you willing to do the things that are not glamorous? right? Man, you go into these chats, right? You go into these chats and these groups, whether it be on Facebook, Twitters, or whatever, and you hear these dudes and people, and all they're doing is talking about stats, talking about numbers, they're talking about, yeah, I can score on here, I can score on the score. And it's like the funny thing is, yeah, you can do all that, but does it make you a really good ball player just because you can score? It's like what constitutes being a college basketball player? Yes, you have specialists. Don't get me wrong. There are times those specialists have to do different things, right? Are you able to do that? Can you move it out the basketball? Can you go set a screen? Will you dive on the floor? Will you sacrifice your body and take a charge? Will you pass up a good shot for a great shot for the right shot? Will you do that? Will you hold yourself accountable? Would you hold your teammates accountable? Will you do that? Right? Those are the things, like, that's toughness. Like, those are the things that, it's like, will you talk on defense? Will you even play defense? Right? Will you even play defense? That that's some of it too. Is that sometimes we're babysitting players because it's such an offensive minded game now. Because all they do, they see the NBA, and it's like people thought that the generation I grew up in, NBA was boring. No, it wasn't. That was exciting. To me, it was exciting to see a defense shut somebody. It was exciting to see a matchup between a defender, Gary Payton, and Michael Jordan, Gary Payton and Tim Hardaway, Gary Payton and whoever, or John Stockton, or Mark Jackson, or whomever. Like, right, it was good to see those matchups of that, because some defense is going to be played. And ultimately, right, you have all the offense in the world, but eventually you got to stop somebody. So is the adage the same? Like, does it come down to defense? I don't know. But those are the questions that you got to ask your players, especially now you're moving into AAU, where some programs just roll the ball out and just have them play. Others a little bit more structured, but it comes down to whatever fits the parent. Literally, you think about this: whatever fits the parent, whatever fits the player, but ultimately whatever fits the parent. If the parent wants it to be about me, 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 that's the type of environment they're gonna put their child in. If the I mean, you hear Division 1 coaches talk about it. I listened to Mick Cronin out of UCLA. Mick Cronin was talking about the state AAU. He was talking about youth basketball. He was saying, if you think about it, you hear a lot of NBA players talk about how the European players are coming over and they're advanced or da da da. And it's not that they're advanced. It's the fact that over here in America, we don't harp on defense or playing as a team as much, because it's all about me, 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 what one person does, what one person does, right? Over there, they talk about playing team basketball. They're playing with older guys, so they grow up on that. So now when you come to the NBA and I can showcase what I do anyway and play team ball, they flourish, right? They flourish. So we gotta really really think about that. Really really think about that. Which direction are we taking our kids when it comes to basketball? Which direction are we taking them? Which is the hard thing. Which is the hard thing. Hard thing. But hey, listen, it can get better. It can get better. Most coaches coach to how you were coached, or coach to the strong belief you have. Maybe it's one on one, maybe it's team basketball, maybe it's defense first, or whatever the case may be, right? And it's like, if if you're really about development, which at this point, even in high school, you are developing, but you're trying to develop to get to a higher level. If it's really about development, then some of the problems that we have with basketball today we wouldn't have. My opinion. I don't know. My opinion. My opinion. But hey, first round. But listen, first round of the NCAA tournament is this week. Playing game. I believe playing game is Wednesday. Wednesday. First game start on Thursday. Hey, listen. Whew, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch nothing but basketball. Ready to watch nothing but basketball. We will start having some guest appearances, so be ready for that. And tune in. Hey guys, Please share this. I know my backdrop may look a little bland and all that type of stuff, but hey, I'm telling you, here I got a little picture of my little daughter. Little daughter, they do that. Here, let me put another one up here. I think this is how they're supposed to go. I think this is like a tree. I think that's a tree, right? I don't know. Let's see. About those on my backdrop. Would y'all like to see those? Y'all like to see those on my backdrop? I can make those happen. I don't know. I can make those happen. But hey, but listen, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Listen, Brandon more to the game sports. Hey, I appreciate the love, man, and I appreciate that. Give me some topics, man. Hit me up. Hey, most importantly, always remember there's more to the game. Peace.